and all the things that you have tried, all the lies that you did. I started to look around, wondering what would I do if I was not here, if I was not with you. So I've gotta go, I've gotta grow, I've gotta learn what I don't yet know. And if you love me, please just see me. Please believe me when I say I love you too. But I'm not the one for you. Now everything has changed and our lives have rearranged, but I never would have stayed. So it's time to turn the page. I feel like I'm a Florida girl through and through, but I just got back from being out west, and I wrote this song while looking at Pikes Peak in Colorado Springs. The sky, blue sky, and the mountainside, all my life has led me to this. The canyons open wide, my pie by my side, opening to the moment. And if one day we are meant to be, I'm sure it'll happen naturally. No need to grieve or force anything, there's still yet time. The sky, dark sky, and the stars so bright. Astor's closing shop up for the night. And in my dreams is a sweet mystery that my mind is unraveling. And when one day the world tries to end again, will you bite your pills or will you sing along with your friends? And oh my God, I am walking through your garden, hardly talking. Stream, oh stream, please wash me clean. Cold water flowing over my body. When I emerge into this brave new world, brand new girl, with the sky, pink sky, and the sunrise. The day is starting anew. The flowers open up and I fill my own cup so I can be right here with you. floating down a river that I've never been in before, and all I've got's my body, and my body's feeling sore. And I was struggling through the rapids, but now I'm floating like a leaf. And I don't know how it happened, but I'm starting to believe. And who am I to know just what's in store for me? I'm learning to let go, enjoy the mystery. Now it's cold and getting colder as the seasons start to change, and you're old and getting older, but you still don't show your age. And who am I to say just what you should and shouldn't do? It was never up to me, it all comes back to you. And whether or not you have faith or are sinning in your old ways, we're all just walking each other home. No matter how far I roam, I've got you in my pocket, I'm never alone. 'Cause we're floating down a river, and we don't know where it leads. And now we've got each other, our friends and families. And who are we to think that this is it? 'Cause just under our noses lives the magic. And whether or not you can see is not a matter of if you believe. Just how open can you be with curiosity, and know that every river leads to the sea. You give me goosebumps, you give me chills, you make me warm inside, and you give me thrills. And still, you don't give me too much, but I'm just along for the ride. The world is still spinning, the earth is cycling around. There's nothing new under the sun, like he's in love with her and she's in love with another, and I'm in love with everyone. My love is a stray who's showed up at my door. He won't give me affection, but he's the one I adore. So I feed him and I love him from afar, and I wait for him to trust my heart. My love, it aches, my love, it longs. My love cooks dinner and my love writes songs. My love is old, so much older than my life, and I'm just along for the ride. And if one day your garden starts to grow, you'll only ever reap whatever you sow. The water was shut off, and so I'm waiting for the rain to come again. I trust you'll come again. 'Cause you give me goosebumps, you give me chills, you make it warm inside, and you give me thrills. And still, you don't give me very much at all, but I'm just along for the ride.
and 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 we are live from Mother's Kitchen. Hello, hello. Happy Monday, beautiful souls. Happy Monday. Yeah. Tonight, our featured guest is Katie Dineen. Say hello, 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 guys. Um, hey, stellarness. Hey, what's up, Delta 5? Shouts out to our people in the chat here, showing up for us, showing some love. I have a singer, songwriter, activist. You know, I look at you as an activist because of your work with the community and Eco 850, which is amazing. And what you're doing with singer songwriters in the Pensacola area, Northwest Florida, is very, very touching and inspiring because people need guidance and they need opportunities. And so I think I'm very happy to have you here today. Yeah. Yeah. I try. Hey. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
5-0 Eco is one of those things where a year and a half ago, like it was something I invested a lot of energy into these monthly organizational events where
Mm-hmm.
bringing people together over that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm finding that my passion has shifted more into the singer-songwriter realms,
Yeah.
where it's like cultivating community around singer-songwriters, but there's still ripples of both, right? You know?
Yeah.
And you only have so much energy for each one thing at a time, or a couple things at a time,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like it's interesting. I'm sure you're another person who kind of is a multi-curious person, multi-talented, multi-medium,
Mm.
and so it's like kind of sometimes it can feel like juggling a bunch of balls all at once.
Yeah.
But it's something you enjoy doing, so you're like,
Mm.
oh, this is super fun, and then every once in a while you're like, whoa, there's
That's
a
a
lot
lot.
of things. Suddenly, I didn't realize so many oranges were in this mix.
Yeah.
Juggling fruit metaphor.
I feel that. I do. I feel that way. And that's why, it is inspiring when I see other
Mm-hmm.
creatives who are also multifaceted and balancing that energy, because each of those areas and avenues calls for an amount of energy
Mm-hmm.
that you're giving to other people,
Mm-hmm.
which is most people can't comprehend. Like when they meet you, you're one person, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't think about the fact that they're meeting you, and you are multi-dimensional, right?
Mm-hmm.
As a human
Mm-hmm.
being,
Yeah.
right? So when they connect with you, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to be connected. How can I connect with you? Because you're amazing, right? And you're doing these things, and this is beautiful. And also, you still
Yeah.
have all of the work.
All the dimensions of being a
Mm-hmm.
human being, of being
Right,
another person,
right,
navigating life in a world where it's like, oh, these systems that other people are saying are the ways to navigate life don't feel like the true systems, you know?
right.
So it's like very much a do-it-yourself kind of life.
Yeah,
And seeing what comes from that. I asked somebody yesterday, how do you spend your time? Because I like to ask that better than like, what do you do? Because in
right.
our culture, it's like, what do you do for work?
To
You
make
know?
money to survive,
Yeah.
more so.
Yeah.
Everything else is kind of like, well,
Yeah. And I just prefer to what do you like to do with your time, or how do you spend your time?
right.
And time is something that's precious, and like the energy um, that is most limited and most abundant, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I feel like being a person within this sort of field, a lot of my time is spent talking with other people in contexts like this, but then in a lot of other contexts too.
Yeah.
And when you're balancing that many perceptions of one person, within a multi-spatial sphere.
Yeah.
A multi-spatial sphere. A Pensacola punk band.
That is definitely.
A
That would be.
galactic punk band.
That would be definitely. That's a perfect. Hey, if there's a Pensacola up and coming punk band,
There you go.
you're looking for a new name.
It's an okay one.
Katie just gave it to you. It's the move. I'm gonna, and I love it. I love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. Like I said, I think true connectivity with artists is a thing that major labels have made it like, um it's it's fake, right? It's like there's a publicist that is saying you need to be this way exactly for us to make people like you, right? As an independent artist, you are yourself. There is no one to say, hey, you need to be this way.
Yeah.
So you're navigating organically, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
If you choose to be your true self, right? And being in environment awareness, right? Conscious, environment friendly, right? In that space by itself, you have to be yourself because you're a leader, you know? Let me ask you this. How do you feel like playing those roles
Yeah.
affect you, like in your art? Like, the other areas or mediums that you are as Katie, you know, how do you feel like that affects your art that you put out?
Um, I definitely feel like a lot of my songs and a lot of my art is a reflection of my reverence for nature. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
tricky thing being a human, um, interacting within nature, because so much of the systems of the environment that we live in, are um, are inorganic. You know,
Yeah.
I was actually walking through my neighborhood today, thinking about that. Thinking about I was attracted to the yards that had leaf litter on the ground, the
Mm.
fall leaf litter. I was attracted to the porches that looked lived on. You know, and to be
Mm.
lived on is to have a little bit of mess, is to be
Right.
kind of human. And the houses and the parts of my neighborhood that felt too clean felt fake, you know. And so
Mm.
as an artist, I really enjoy live performances and what we were talking about earlier, that human connection of things, because it allows for more organicness, right?
Yeah.
But it's also like, um, I feel like something that I have always felt and am navigating through is imposter syndrome. Like
Mm.
like I always kind of have this undercurrent of feeling like I'm faking it till I make it,
Right.
and also that because there's some level of me that's faking it, then like that could be exposed, right?
Mm.
And so like when you say like, as an environmental leader, I can hear where you're coming from, that because
Mm-hmm.
like I was a part of organizing this year's Earth Day Pensacola Festival, and like
Right.
I have been, you know, active within that field, in the past, and I still like presently I'm serving on the environmental advisory board for the
Yeah.
city of Pensacola. But it is like kind of an uncomfortable space because I feel so young and so
Mm.
novice to like all of these things,
Yeah.
that I hope to just be really authentic with how much of a beginner and how much of a like person who deals with like, also the hypocrisy of like maybe being, you know, like people have an idea of what environmental looks like, feels like, smells like, walks like, talks like, does.
Yeah.
And you're also just like navigating being a human who, sometimes has the energy to be tapped into environmentalism
Yeah.
and sometimes doesn't, because
Ugh.
it's really can be very heavy to hold, like when you are a realist with, um, how many things there are to work on, and also this kind of young resentment to like the generations before.
Mm. Like you guys
Like
screwed up,
navigating that space.
and I have to now fix this.
Yeah, so I try in my art and in my songs, and in the way I interact with people, I try to, um, like kind of balance all that from a healing perspective of like, I really want to spend my time noticing how beautiful nature is and feeling like I am part of nature as well, because we are, you know,
Right.
and tapping into others' love and curiosity, because I think if you're operating from a place of love and curiosity, it feels more sustainable over time. Um, but there's always those waves of going down into the grief and the anger and the more like kind of the stronger, more response or reactive based advocacy too. Um, so that's kind of a rambling
No,
of
I mean it's
ideas.
your truth. It's where you are, and I think that's important. I mean, Mother's Kitchen is a safe space for creatives for sure to express the things that they're not usually able to express,
Mhm.
or there's not space for them to express it because
Mhm.
people always want us to perform. People
Mhm.
always want us to show and, you know, like da da
Yeah.
da
Yep.
and do work, right? So if you're performing and we want to see you as an artist and we want to respect you, then what are you doing for our community? You
Mhm.
know, we're the group of people that people do look at to be more than just artists,
Mhm.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's interesting being like, I feel like I'm an artist, and also just incidentally another gift that I seem to have is being able to bring people together to cross pollinate. And so I really have the intention and the desire and the hope to bring people together in spaces that are aware and that are healing and that are both artistic and also tapped into a consciousness that is, more aligned with getting in touch with your body and then
Yeah.
the collective body, like how is our earth body doing, and yeah, and I really appreciate. I've been hosting open mic nights every
Yeah.
Tuesday at Big Top for the last year and a half in downtown Pensacola, and open mic nights was one of the first and early safe spaces as a young artist that I felt I could perform out of my house, because for so
Yeah.
many years I was just like performing in my bedroom. I was like a bedroom
Right.
musician, or
Right.
like my parents' friends would come over, I'd go play for them, but I never ever ever wanted music to be something I studied or something that I like in school, like in university or something that I did for work,
Yeah.
because I was always so afraid that it would turn into this icky like thing
Business.
that was work business, yeah, and I don't feel that way, and it is very nice to host an open mic night space where entertainment is not the forefront, authentic expression is the forefront,
Yeah.
and it's a space for other artists to come and hear and see each other and express themselves and witness other people expressing themselves. That's in like a week to week basis, it's like a just very consistent, each week is its own flavor, and I feel like when you start being authentic with other people, you get what you give, no matter what you're operating in. Right?
Yeah.
And so I feel like if you give authenticity, you're going to receive more of that back too, because you're showing other people that it is safe to be authentic and to share heartbreak songs and to share poetry, that comes from a real and tender place, and so yeah.
I think it's important for us to have those safe spaces, and also us learning how to make sure that you. Well, I'm gonna ask this: how do you decompress? Like with all of these things, being a multifaceted creative
Yeah.
and activist and cultivator, because bringing musicians together is a lot of energy. Even if they're the nicest musicians, you still have to hold space and communicate. So if it's 3 people or 5 people or 10 or 15 people that you're communicating with, how does Katie like take time for herself to balance out that world?
I turn off my phone at night. I don't turn it on till the morning, till after I've done my morning pages. And so every single morning I write 3 pages of stream of consciousness. Writing that could be like dreams. It's just whatever comes to the forefront of my mind. Intentions, personal things I'm working through, all sorts, sometimes just random words, and having that ritual and that space where like I've been taking fasting for my phone, and honestly, I was just getting pretty overwhelmed by myself, and I ran away for a month and went to the mountains and hiked and moved my body in like intense ways for basically a month, and like just like hiked like almost anywhere between 5 to 8 to 10 miles a day, like up at like 8,000 elevation, because I just felt like I had a lot of energy to work through, and it was something that my heart was wanting for. It was telling me through my morning pages for like 6 or 7 months before I finally like was like, okay, like okay, I'm gonna go disappear. But sometimes, yeah, it's like just to disappear, and sometimes the disappearing doesn't have to be that dramatic, but like disappearing to the woods, and just like walking in silence. I don't talk a lot in the morning, like, and I really enjoy my own company, and so I've been learning that I I've been learning that I don't mind disappointing people if it's like for like something I need, because I don't want to show up and be inauthentic with anyone. I don't want to show up and be with someone or hang with someone or give them my time or energy out of this sense of like obligation or like
Right.
that stickiness.
Yeah.
I want everything to be like very smooth and clear and serene, and I can only practice that in myself if I'm authentic. And so that's how I take time to myself. Like today I just cleaned my house and laid on my bed and meditated, and
Yeah.
it felt good.
As
So,
you should.
yeah.
As you should. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. Because I want, I know that there are creatives and artists that are going to go back to this later or that are tuning in. Shouts out to Faith.
Hey,
Faith with an E.
Aww.
What's up, Faith? Thanks for tuning in. But I know that there are creatives who are also multifaceted like ourselves, who the simulation says you have to do it this way or you have to do it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a necessity for people to understand that you don't. That if you overwork your body, you overwork your mind, that at one point in time, that's where sickness comes from.
Yeah.
Mental health imbalances. A lot of our celebrities have those imbalances because they're overworked, and money can't compensate for that, right?
Yeah.
So no matter how many doctors or psychiatrists or therapists or chefs, right, they can hire to make sure that they have these things, they're still doing too much for their personal balance. And everybody is different. So if you're creative and you're watching, I just want to say, take your breaks. They're a necessity, and it's okay. Anyone that values you or your time or your energy, right? Because you're exchanging energy. Anytime you do work, you're exchanging energy with someone. That's important to remember. And someone says, hey, I want you to come show up and sing a song for me, right? You have to pull the energy together, right?
Yeah.
The mindfulness to prepare yourself, right? Which is also energy. To prepare your mind, your body, and your spirit, right? To align yourself to go physically, then show up, and then align yourself to perform.
Yeah.
That is all energy.
Yeah.
And it should be exchanged back, right?
Yeah.
As creatives, as artists, sometimes it's not money, but money is still an energy exchange, right?
Yeah.
And it should not be pushed to the side that, hey, you still have to take care of yourself, because the energy that you took might have been the life force that you needed to keep yourself well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we catch colds, things happen to our bodies when we're pushing ourselves because we're still human.
Yeah. For sure.
So take your breaks, rest, get you some sleep.
And I have just been learning too that I feel like I always knew this, but it becomes more clear the more you practice something, which is empowering your no empowers your yes.
Yeah.
And so doing more work that aligns with things that fill your energy rather than drain it. And definitely prioritizing and like just focusing my gratitude and my excitement and my energy towards things that fill up the cup further. Because when the cup is brimming, that's when you have abundance, you can just share it,
Yes.
and that's where the energy comes from, to be able to juggle and balance and do things and still have time for yourself. But when you are working for someone else, or you're like kind of working for this thing that is not actually filling you, for this like transitory thing, it's like that's where it can become really draining. And so you have to do that sometimes. Sometimes you do have to go through things that are not your choice, and you have to just like work with what you got. And in those moments, like falling back into the practices you had and the friendships and relationships that you had while things were good is so important.
Yes, absolutely.
And like I just feel so grateful to my community of people because I just think like the quality of your friendships, of your relationships, even those soft ones, those acquaintances you see in the grocery store or in different like kind of random places, like that is so important to feel and remember that like you are connected to something larger than you, because then it's like so much easier to get back up when you fall, because you're gonna fall, you're gonna bust your ass. I did last night. My body's sore.
Listen, to be honest, I didn't tell you this earlier, but I slipped and fell yesterday. And like right in that hallway, I was like sweeping and mopping, and then I'm like do 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 do, and then I like come back do 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 do. I almost took the bird cage down with me, busted my butt, and then I had to go perform.
Karma. Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's like my shins, everything hurts.
I ran into 2 other friends today who have fallen.
Really?
And I just wrote this song the other week. That's like, if you are falling. It's like it's a song all about falling, and I wrote that song, and then everyone's been falling. I'm just like, I'm sorry, guys.
Thanks, Katie. Just thanks for putting it out there.
Finger to point
I
at.
appreciate that. I needed to,
You can blame me. I'll take it. I can take it.
You put it out there. You put it out there.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. If you fell recently, I apologize. You can send me the medical bill.
Jeez, man. God, turmeric. Make sure there's plenty of turmeric, because I got inflammation going on.
Well, you know who has turmeric? It's from the Ground Up Community Garden. They have huge bushels of fresh organic turmeric that they.
What? Okay, so talk to us about the community garden a little bit.
Man, the community garden's freaking great. It's called From the Ground Up Community Garden. It's right there under the interstate, kind of near downtown Pensacola.
Yeah.
And they're like a community. What's it called? They're basically Innisfree Hotels has this whole budget for empowering and educating and helping the community, and like Innisfree Hotels funds the From the Ground Up Community Garden and Dixon School of the Arts and some other local things, and the community garden. There's 5 tenets to the garden, which is so sweet. The first and the last are community, because community is the most important, and then organic gardening, education and live performing and music, live arts, and then the last one's community, because that's the most important, and it circles back around to that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's such a sweet place. You can go there and like volunteer and then leave with all this wonderful, delicious organic food. And I've been working with Elizabeth at From the Ground Up for a while now, going as a volunteer, but then also going and performing music a couple times. And this coming Sunday, we're having, I think this is going to be the 3rd round of the Pensacola Singer-Songwriter Round Series. And this one I've been so excited for months. When I started the idea of the Pensacola Songwriter Round Series, I was like, I can't wait until one day I have all of my favorite female singer-songwriters together for my own selfish desires of seeing them all in person. But it's going to be Love Brennevier and Faith, who may or may not still be here, and Raleigh Elizabeth and myself singing original music in the garden. And the garden is beautiful at night with all its little twinkle lights, and with just a $5 gate charge to cover like just basic things for the garden. But it's just gonna be so sweet, and it's also a space that is open for collaboration. Since COVID, they haven't gone fully back into all of using it to its full capability, but Elizabeth really wants to, and so connecting.
Tap back into things.
It's a beautiful venue space,
Okay.
I've been there for Asia. Sampson has had poetry slams there.
Yeah.
I've been there for Patagonia movies.
Okay.
They have, just it's such a sweet space, and it's been really nourishing, doing these songwriter round series because it's another way that I feel connected to a larger community. And yeah, I've hosted 850 eco meetings at the garden before, and yeah, it's just a really sweet space. And they have turmeric.
They have
for
turmeric
cheap.
for cheap.
Fresh organic turmeric for like $1 an
what
ounce or something like that. Some ridiculous.
Yeah, I gotta
Don't
go.
quote me on that, but it's something like that. It's
I'm definitely gonna
amount.
be back at the garden.
Yeah.
I remember working with Elizabeth at Dixon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you guys do?
I was admin at the school and I taught drums. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. She knows me as Miss B.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's how I know her.
Mm.
And
do some kids know you as Miss B?
Yep.
Some kids know me as Miss Dineen because I worked in the public school system as a substitute for a couple of years.
That's crazy.
And so sometimes they'll see me perform and they're like, "Hey, Miss Dineen," and I'm just like, "Hey, multidimensional being."
Hey, boo. So good to see you. That's cool. That's cool. I mean, whenever you're finding your way and your path, I feel like that's a thing. A lot of creatives have done so many things. When you watch their biopics or read their books, it's like, I'm just trying to survive and also do what I love to do.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a state of thriving and having balance. I think artists now are understanding like the simulation and all of the things. Like, does it really matter if I'm on all of the billboards? Because that comes with a price. Like, fame comes with a price. And what matters most? The connectivity or, just the money? You know what I mean? Just the money, just the glam. It's like, I really want to connect with people. I really want to leave something behind. I was talking to Faith about that. The Palo Santo. That was a thing. Once I connected with Palo Santo, I was at an African bembe the first time I experienced it. And there was a priest. He's like burning it and walking around. I'm like, what is that smell? And I don't think anybody else really paid attention, right? But it like caught me.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're outside and there are people everywhere. And I'm like, I smell this. And I'm looking for it. Yeah. But I didn't know what it was. I was like, I smell this. I don't know what it is. Like, what is that, right? And he's walking around this little piece of wood. He's just like, working it. And I ask him, and I'm shy. I don't usually like approach people I don't know well or whatever. And he looked at me. He said, "It's Palo Santo." And I was like, "Palo what?"
Palo who?
After that, I did my research. Then I find out it's called Holywood, and it's Peruvian wood, and it's been used. It's ancient, right? Changed my life. So I said, as an artist, I want people to connect with me. I want them to remember what my art felt like. Yeah. What being around me felt like. Yeah. Palo Santo. Yeah. I just want to come and sweeten the space a little bit. Leave a little energy behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I feel too. I love that you mentioned like you noticed it and you don't think other people noticed it, because I think that's kind of the gift and the kind of responsibility or role as the artist.
Yeah.
There's this beautiful, I think it's a David White poem or quote that's like, the gift of being human is showing what seems invisible, like showing each other what seems invisible. And like with my songs, I love like writing songs about the little things. I have this one song that's called All the Little Things, and another song that I wrote while in Colorado is called Sky Blue Sky. And something I was noticing was in the evenings the flowers would close up their petals for the night, and I really just thought that was beautiful, kind of like shopkeepers closing their doors for the night. Like the pollinators, it's time to go to bed, so I'm gonna close up the shop for the night. Yeah. So it's like Astor's closing shop up for the night, and I was playing a gig at Gary's Beer Garden 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And I started playing this song that I wrote just a couple weeks ago that's like about love with a big L. You know, the beloved with a big B, not to be confused with like the dispersion of the beloved, but just like that sort of like endless ocean source of the beloved or love.
Yeah.
And as I started playing this song at Gary's, I looked over the tree that was close to me, and at the very base of a tree was this little pink flower. And I was just like, man, I love this flower. I'm gonna sing to this flower right now, because I just like, man, this is, you know, just really inspiring a lot of love in me.
Yeah.
And I sang, and I, you know, kind of connected with the audience, but I had a moment where I just like really appreciated the flower. And when I looked back, maybe 30 minutes later, the sun shifted and moved, and the flower was completely closed up. And I was like, I am the only one here who noticed this. I am the, like this is
Right.
the preciousness of
This
awareness.
intimacy.
Yeah, it's just
Right.
the intimacy of awareness to space and awareness to Earth is like having, I think like,
To
I was
be
on
mindful.
yeah, like to just really appreciate and notice things. I think that like love is curiosity,
Oh, yeah.
and like to be curious is to just have those beginner's eyes where like everything is kind of a question mark and everything is new.
Yes,
Each moment.
everything is new.
You know, and yeah, I think that's kind of the gift of artists, is just bringing that sort of freshness to the room, smudging the room with your sound, because whatever you come in and being impeccable with your speech, with your word, with your intention, you are the auditory space setter, you know? And so there's a sense of
Auditory Space Setter.
yeah,
That's
just
an
make it up.
album. That's an album. Auditory Space Setter. Y'all heard it first here live from Brother's Kitchen.
We were doing, me and my good friend, we're doing some last minute Halloween shopping yesterday. We were dressing up for this, my boss actually. So another thing I do that I don't think everyone knows I do this, but a couple days a week I work in a commercial kitchen and I make hummus for the hummus lady.
What?
Yes. So for like a year I've been doing this.
You're a hummus maker?
I'm a hummus lady.
You're a
I
hummus
make
lady?
hummus.
What
I
the
sling
fudge
hummus.
monkey? Do y'all see? She
It's the
slings hummus.
It's the best hummus. It's so good.
Wait a
It's
minute.
So fresh.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a
Chickpeas,
minute.
tahini, lemon juice, black garlic. All the good. I'll bring you some hummus sometime.
I love hummus.
Our hummus won In Weekly's Best of the Coast 3 years in a row.
What?
Yeah. And I look just like the logo. If you look up the hummus lady logo, like I've worked the market for her a couple times, and every time I'm selling hummus, people are like, "Are you her?" Yeah, the hummus lady, Pensacola. I look just like her, and so yesterday was In Weekly's Best of the Coast, like winners party.
Yeah.
And we went dressed up, and I was the hummus lady, so I was like very, like, yeah, I was very that like 1950s.
This is her?
Like corporate housewife looking woman.
Need this image. We're gonna pull this up. Hold on.
And she was my bodyguard, but we went like thrifting at the last minute, and I was like, let's go Goodwill hunting. I was like, yes.
Oh my gosh. This is so good. Let's see.
Yeah, so she uses Shoreline's Commercial Kitchen, which is the Greek and international grocery and deli that's downtown. It's been there since like the 90s, and so I live in
Look at
biking
this.
distance, so I go and bike down to the commercial kitchen 2 to 3 times a week and make hummus. I'm actually going to Fairhope this Thursday. At the Piggly Wiggly in Fairhope, they have this Taste of LA, Taste of Lower Alabama.
Yo, I'm from Lower. Well, I was born in Troy, Alabama, which is kind of like North
Yeah.
Alabama, kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I spent my time in Lower Alabama. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
From
LA.
LA. You know what I'm saying?
Representing.
Represent LA.
represent.
You feel me? LA. You feel me? Lower Alabama. Stop.
I'm actually going and slinging hummus at the Piggly Wiggly in Fairhope this Thursday. If anyone wants to go.
Slinging hummus, you feel me?
Well,
We
you know
out
what they
here.
do? It's a whole like indoor market where all of these local food manufacturers have their products and have samples. So you walk through the Piggly Wiggly and you get samples of wine, samples of hummus, samples of bread. It's just all these different food vendors inside. My friend Cheryl from Kittrell's Honey,
Yeah.
from the farmers market, she's gonna be there.
This is cool.
This is a cool thing. It's a market that happens inside a Piggly Wiggly.
Yo,
it's so weird.
Piggly Wiggly used to be lit though.
Yeah.
I spent my time in Piggly Wiggly coming up. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you're from Lower Alabama, Piggly Wiggly was the move. Back then, you could get 25-cent sodas from the machine. I'm old. Let me see. And now we're going to have our crystal talk segment. And I'm going to introduce you guys to a new crystal tonight. Kyanite. Kyanite. All right, so I would like to say this, and I say this every episode. You know, I grew up in the South, old school Pentecostal holiness and church, Christian background, and crystals were something that we were taught that were not good. They were evils. No, that's the devil, blah, blah, blah. And also, I do know the Bible from the front to the back pretty well. Yeah. And I know that crystals were used in the Bible, priests used them to make decisions. They used to actually cast stones sometimes to make decisions. And then also there's the breastplate, with the 12 tribes in it. And also we are humans made of elements. So if God made dirt, dirt don't hurt. And crystals are made of...
Dirt never hurt.
Yeah, feel me? So tonight... Remember that it's okay to use your elements to balance yourself. And one day Judy Hall will see me advertising her book, and she's going to come on and talk with us and connect and all that good stuff eventually. But I am using the Crystal Bible to read from A Definitive Guide to Crystals by Judy Hall. This is her first volume of this. I don't even think she thought of volumes when she made this one, because after I had this for a while, then I just started seeing other volumes pop up. She probably was like, you know what, this is a really good idea, and I need to. There's a way more crystals than I thought of, right? So I gotta make more books. So like I said, tonight is kyanite. That is the crystal that we have. Let's see. I'm going to share with you guys what this crystal looks like. Let's see. Where's the kyanite? It is beautiful. Gives me a lapis vibe. It's like if lapis and selenite had a baby.
It reminds me of selenite,
If
lapis and selenite had a baby.
Yes, lapis, selenite. Love. Kyanite. All right, so the color of this crystal usually comes in blue, white, pink, green, yellow, gray, or black. The appearance is let's see, a bladed crystal. It may be transparent or opaque and pearlized, all sizes. So that means that it can be huge if we want it to be. And its rarity is readily available. The source is Brazil, so it's not rare. However, I'm not really familiar with this crystal. So let's talk about this crystal a little bit. Its attributes. Kyanite is excellent for attunement and meditation. It is tranquilizing and a powerful transmitter and amplifier of high frequency energies, stimulating psychic abilities and the intuition. With its ability to tune into the casual level, this stone can help spiritual energy to manifest in thought. This crystal connects to spirit guides and instills compassion, grounding spiritual vibrations. It brings spiritual integrity and maturation. It facilitates dream recall and promotes healing dreams. Kyanite is helpful for those making the transition through death. So it's like kind of similar to amethyst in a way. Well, it's the amethyst is more of the grieving, like having, being okay with letting go of those things. But kyanite is something that people who may be making the transition, maybe hospice or something like that, it would be good for them. It instantly aligns the chakras. Wow. And subtle bodies, clearing the pathways and meridians. It restores QI to the physical body and its organs. And healing is stabilize the biomagnetic field after clearing and transformation. This is a really good crystal for creatives and performers. Like people who go out a lot and have to recharge, because I hear you talking about like, I'm okay with my alone time and I need that time to recharge really because I'm giving so much when I'm out. It's like, hey, turning my phone off. I've done my work for the day, and knowing when to say when is enough. And also having elements, right? Like this is very good. I'm going to say that again. It stabilized the biomagnetic field. So that's your energy when you're in a space, what you feel on the outside, what's like your spirit man that's on the outside of your body, right? After clearing and transformation. And I notice a lot of people are going through transformations right now, like heavy transformations, heavy changes, transitions. So this stone is really good for that as well. As kyanite does not hold negativity, it never requires cleaning. Whoa. That's heavy. Hey.
This is so good to like just like even the words. It's like to hold these mantras and to like so much of how I think about restoring myself.
Yeah.
Or like what feels like would bring me the most peace the quickest is I pretend to be a stone at the bottom of a cold river. That's honestly what I do a lot of times. Like if I like am taking a cold bath, like I pretend to be a stone at the bottom of a river, and that just always kind of helps me. And so like just embodying these different elements. Like you don't actually need
have to physically even have
stone. You don't actually need like certain things. Like you could just embody what it is, and that's like the helpful part to me. So as I'm listening to you, I'm like, yeah, through transformation, like through what feels sticky, like actually no, I don't hold on to negativity.
Right.
Actually, I don't need to be cleansed because it's all water just flowing over.
Letting it go.
And I've been thinking a lot about elements, and like the different parts of the day that you feel like different elements, but the element I feel most connected to right now is water, for sure.
I said today, it's not the sauce, right? It's the water, because the water is more, it's a necessity. People are always talking about, I got sauce, No, we put the water on it, right? Because water is a necessity, is what we need for us to live the life force. Precious. And it's so precious, right?
You look in the universe, this is like the only place that got water. Like that is hospital for life that we found so far.
Wow.
Like water is so precious. There's a Rick and Morty episode where like these aliens they have developed a dating app. Yeah. Where everyone's falling in love with each other like just really quickly, like as soon as they get married, the next person on the dating app is like, this is your new soulmate, and everyone's just like kind of rampantly going around falling in love with each other, and the aliens are like, great, they don't know that we're actually stealing their water because water is this precious resource. that we
That
take
is-
for granted.
We do take it for granted.
I've been in the practice of practicing gratitude more.
Yeah.
And like really, I was for a while last month, and this is as I'm speaking it, I'm realizing I would like to return to this practice of before I ate food, like really looking at the food and like smelling it and appreciating it and like thinking about like
all the energy that went into it.
Yeah, like there was a farmer who made the grain, who made the wheat, and then there was a mill, and then there was a truck that drove this to the store.
Wow.
And then, but in order for the truck to drive it to the store, someone had to make a road, and someone had to paint the road, and someone had to mine the gas for the oil for the truck to do all these different parts. And so it's like how many hands went into this, and not even hands, but like water and sun and earth that went into this food that I'm about to eat. And it's so beautiful, your son, giving you animals as an exchange for food. Yeah, to just like have an offering back, because it's such a gift. Like
it is
anything. Receiving this time with you is such a gift that's why I brought you some little gifts.
Thank you. Same. I dropped my sticker. I want to cry. I've been looking at them like my butterflies on the floor. But then I don't want to make like a whole bunch of noise and like be a klutz, because I am a klutz already. Just like, right? I got this cool
festival
koozie. So, Foo Fest. Shout out Foo Festival. Yeah. She put on the water, not the sauce. She put on the water, not the sauce. Yeah, but I feel really good. I'm gonna say this, guys. If you're not following Katie at this moment, I would like you guys to take a moment to go ahead and follow her and what she's doing. Like I said before, she's an amazing singer-songwriter, cultivator, activist, for the community and for the environment. And we need more people like you who care. I think it's beautiful that you do care wholeheartedly. And it comes from your energy. Like, I feel it. You know what I mean? Like, you really do care. This is natural for you. And everybody's not born with that, right? But you were. So we have to support you and love you and all that good stuff so that you can continue that work and it can just keep spreading. So if you guys do me a favor, go follow Katie. Her information is at the bottom for her IG, Katie Dineen Sings. That's at Instagram.
Yeah.
And
soon I'll have a Patreon.
Yeah.
Soon, that's something that I'm working towards, is having a Patreon and a website and a YouTube channel. I want to get into. I'm so inspired by you and everything you do. I was like going through your website today and just being like, oh my god, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's
I bust my ass.
I admire.
I bust my ass.
Yeah, I can tell. I'm like looking at her. I'm like, wow, I'm really gonna have to do some work to be anywhere on this level. But it's epic, and it's something that I admire and that I love to learn and collaborate with you on, and
for sure.
Yeah, and feel our way through.
That makes me happy. I feel like independence is and that's a whole nother like conversation for real. I want to bring together, some things and people and change the dynamic of what the industry has been before now. Because we are awakening. Like, people are different. We work differently. Our mindsets are different. We don't, even this generation now, I see like what my generation took and my mother's generation took. This generation was like, no, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
That doesn't, working for this corporation for 30 years of my life I don't want to do, because the effects from their parents or their grandparents, the reality
Yeah.
came out. Like, you want to trust people, and also you have to have some type of balance in real, for your personal life and views
For
and
sure.
what you want for yourself. So I think it's going to be amazing. I'm grateful. I think your expression of giving thanks for the small things, giving thanks for the pizza in the way that you did, really seriously, that feels so good, because I've been in that space too. All of the little things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sore when I get up after I've had like I had that accident a couple of years ago. My body has not been the same, and some days when I get up, I'm in pain, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm still able to walk. And so I give thanks for that instead of complaining about how sore I am.
Yeah.
Mindfulness, because we can control how we feel sometimes
Yeah.
more than we think we can,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
for
being
sure.
that stone at the bottom of the cold river, right?
Yeah. And that's kind of what it is like, as you are a stone, so many thoughts are going to go over you. So many ideas and passing moments and like felt sense experiences between people, some of which feel nourishing, some of
Right.
which feel sticky. And like, I have to, sometimes you wake up and you realize like, oh, like these thoughts that I'm having are just thoughts, and
Right.
they are temporary too.
Right.
And something, I feel like it's important to be impeccable with your word. It's important to see that you are a storyteller, and that you are living into the stories that you tell yourself as possible too. And like, we're all kind of collectively telling each other stories and then living into those stories. And
Yeah.
so a couple months ago, I was like definitely in a low spot because I was going through transitions and
Yeah.
huge transitions and heartbreak, and just the stories that were living in my head were from a place of hurt. And in my path of healing, I just started to be like, okay, every time I think that particular thought, I'm just going to think the opposite.
Yes.
And like, I don't have to believe the opposite. I'm just going to put the balance there. And then like,
because I have that control to do
because
that.
I have that control to be like, okay, actually, I'm not going to subscribe to this right now. And if this is true, like, I'm sure it'll come up again later.
Right, right.
But I'm not going to take it so personally.
Ah.
And like, not taking things personally has also just been so liberating, so freeing. Like, whatever it is that you're doing, or whatever it is that even my mind's doing, it's not so personal.
It's not so personal.
This is just nature experiencing itself. This is just the human experience that has like been lived billions of times. And it's okay. Like, I'm just gonna ride this wave.
I feel the same way. I've been in the same exact place. Because, as an artist, especially when you're spiritual, right? Most artists, I feel like, are spiritual even if they don't know it, right?
Sure.
Everybody's spiritual, but, really being mind consciously spiritual, right? When you're consciously spiritual, you're even more aware, because you can call what's going on with your energy. You're like, oh, wait, I feel off. And you, a lot of times, can pinpoint why you feel off, right?
Yeah.
But that's through experience and learning. Okay, well, I feel this way. I'm anxious. Why? And going through a time period of not even questioning that, just being anxious. And then recognizing, I don't like how that feels.
Yeah. At some point you wake up and you're like, oh, shoot.
I can change this?
Yeah. There are tools. There are different things I can do. And that's like why I like the gratitude practice for food too, is because sometimes you can believe the lie that you are an individual and that you like are totally responsible for everything that's happening in your life. There's that balance of, yes, I do have responsibility over my response, and I do have like, I can choose my thoughts,
right. And
it took a lot of people and things outside of me to get this food that's energizing me, So there's also this deep gratitude that we have a habitable planet and systems, even these systems of being
Yeah.
able to connect and talk and like other people listen and maybe they get something out of it,
Yeah.
and
Y'all
so
hungry?
yeah.
Welcome to Mother's Kitchen. Shameless
You're
plug.
welcome. Thank you.
Shame. Shameless plug. You know what? That's gonna cue me up. You spoke on Mother's Kitchen and the portal. You're going through the site today. And by the way, I built all of these things. Pretty much everything on the site. Every photo, every graphic, every piece of merchandise for the most part. I think there is one set of merchandise that I've started delegating some tasks for Mother's Kitchen because I'm taking it to a different space now, but whenever you're a cultivator, there's a time and space where you have to do a lot of work by yourself in order to set up the systems and
Yeah. Are you familiar with the Artist Way or Julia Campbell? Are you
uh
familiar with that kind of process?
no.
It's beautiful. Julia Campbell is a director and writer, and she has this almost workbook. It is a workbook called The Artist Way,
Yeah.
and it's kind of set up so each week you are cultivating this ongoing relationship with your inner artist and going through these different practices to connect and learn and see where you're at, see what your intuition, that internal artist, where she or he or they want to go. And one of the practices said, like, what is your favorite way of, what was it? It was like, what is your favorite way of like kind of avoiding your calling? What's your favorite way of avoiding it, whatever it is, the thing your heart needs to do or wants to do? And I wrote, and it said, like, write it down, then draw a picture of it. And I wrote, like, hanging out with friends or saying yes to people. And then I did this little doodle of a curly haired stick figure being like, let's hang out all the time to like this community of artists. I'm just like, yeah, let's all just keep hanging out all the time, do all the stuff together. But I know that internally I need to take that time and space to
Regroup.
cultivate this, because this website and everything that you're doing took you that schedule, that consistency where you show up for yourself and do it what it is that you put in, the investment and work is leading you into
Absolutely.
where you want to be, which is right here, and also wherever you want to be tomorrow too.
Absolutely. This site is a cultivation of years of, this, let's break this down. This design right here, this logo, I made this logo in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be for an album for $9.99s, actually, because I was working on $9.99s during that time period. And I'd gotten back from Atlanta doing some stuff behind the scenes industry, working. And that's when I was like, yeah, Gina, what is it that you want to do? Like, what is it? It's not that in that way, right? That's not made for you. You're definitely a hippie. You like being in nature. You like the slow pace of things, like medium pace, environment. Your kids are not groomed for that fast paced life. Like, what did the universe set up for you? What are your cards? Now, how do you work with those cards? How do you play those cards? And that's when I just started really cultivating for myself. And also, I was working on a bunch of other things. I was working full time with the bank and all these other things. But I would take all of the little time that I had extra to put into cultivating, designing, or editing, learning new skill sets for myself. All of the things that I know how to do, I self-taught myself. I never went to school, and I have no certifications. I have no degrees, but I wanted to know how to do it. And I tell any artist, if you want to do something, a lot of times people sign contracts, that don't really take them to the next level. And you guys, I don't have a Patreon, right? But I do have a website that has merchandise that's been customized by me and my team.
Are those biscuits down there?
Yeah,
Like
those are
biscuits?
biscuits.
Are those real biscuits?
Those are real
Like
biscuits.
I can buy.
You can get homemade biscuits made by
Oh my
me.
god.
You
This
literally
changes the
can
game.
order
This changes
biscuits.
this.
You can order biscuits and I'll deliver them to you.
Like I
I
will make you
mean,
biscuits.
I mean the thing is the stuff is there. There's cool stuff here. You know what I mean? There's something for everybody. And if you like to eat, you know, I will make you homemade biscuits and bring them to you. You know, if you're in the Pensacola area, I did that for y'all. I want y'all to like Mother's Kitchen is not a scam. It's a real thing. Because people come to the house, it's just like, man, I love your biscuits. You know, when my friends come and travel from out of town, they have a hard time leaving because they want my cooking.
God, I know.
And so I'm like, you know, I should offer people biscuits. You know, people willing to pay for them. Then I'll make you a batch of biscuits. That's might as well.
This is a gift that I have. So
Yeah, I mean, seriously, because we're multifaceted, why do we have to stick into this box, right?
Yeah.
I'm a single parent of 2 boys that are neurodivergent. I can't move how everybody else moves. I have to be mindful of my reality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's for every artist. What is your reality? How can you maneuver in your reality? You know, people were taught to try to catch up and, you know, flow with what everybody else. Go the same speed as everybody else. Like, we're in traffic. Everyone's going 70, but your car can't go 70.
And why would you want to go 70? That's too fast. Yeah, that's like instant death if you get in collision. You're not seeing any of the wildflowers. You're just like it's so much about the destination rather than the process of getting there. And I feel like a mantra for me has been just trust the process. And I saw that on Faith.
Faith. Yep. Faith. Trust the
But
process.
that's been such a huge thing to see it on her. Is like because the other part is like have faith, because
Yes.
there's so many times when it's easy to just like, oh, I'm just gonna give up. You know,
I'm
like
good.
I'm just gonna
I don't want to do this
some
anymore.
other thing. This is not it. But like, I had this really beautiful encounter with a woman at a farmer's market that I was playing at in Colorado, and at that moment in my life, I was just like on the surface it looked really successful, but underneath I was like just in a lot of pain, and I was experiencing a lot of doubt, and I'm like just in a lot of different areas of my life I was experiencing doubt and reservation, and I had this beautiful connection with this woman while playing my music for her. And she had this little satchel that she pulled out of her pocket. She was like, I carry this around, and today you touched my heart. And she pulled out this little handmade, like, silver heart. It looked like a hand, like melted or smelt, but it was, like, authentic, that has weight. And she pulled out this little silver heart and gave it to me and was like, I want you to take this. And I didn't tell her anything, but she was just like, just know that you are on the path, and the doubt is a lie. And I was just like,
wow.
Okay.
Human conductors, right?
Yeah.
Because, you know, anyone can bring you a message, right? Yeah. And when we put out that energy, it has to come back. Yeah. But we have to be mindful of what spaces we put ourselves in to give that energy. Yeah. You know, something like a scripture that I remember from being a kid was like, give not that which is holy to the dogs. Right?
Yeah.
So it's, you know, if you take all of your time to be holy, right, just to be set apart, right, because that's like the definition, one of the definitions, to be set apart for the worship and service of God, right? Yeah. So if you're setting yourself apart to be holy, right, so that you can be of service and to be a pure conductor to others in their lives, then that means that you should be in spaces that is conducive to that energy so that you can be refilled.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you put out that energy, right? And then it was received, and then you were blessed,
Yeah.
right? Back.
Yeah. I've been thinking about holiness a lot too in the last month or so, because there's this parable or this story that I heard about how the Native American flute came to be, and it's this beautiful story that I just want to share one part of it, which is that you can only play a flute when it is hollow and when it is holy. If it is a stick, you cannot blow wind through it. You cannot, the breath of God, the life, the creative cannot go through it. And
energy
so,
force.
Yeah, and so and as people, as human beings, we all go through spaces of deep grief and pain, in spaces where we feel hollow and holy. But I was just like kind of playing with that idea, and it's like, hollowed out and holy like a flute. Only when you're empty can he play you. Breathe into me, breathe as I sing you a song. And so just that kind of like, you can't create like the beauty without also like just feeling the brighter the light, the brighter the shadow, or the darker shadow, right?
Right.
And so it's like, it's all good, you know, like even in those spaces where you are hollow and full of holes, like just allow yourself to be an open vessel, because you don't know what is going to happen next. You never know what might happen next. And I feel like being open and empty like that is a way to breathe new life too, and just begin again.
Starting over, transitioning, born again. Wow. Someone said after the show the other night, I want a what did they ask for? Like a worship album from me. But they wanted it to be like, they're like, I want a worship album, but like for church girls that don't go to church anymore. And I was like, what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I got you. Because that is a DJ Hill. She asked for that. That's literally about the space that I'm in. Like, I am in a space where I am grateful. Giving thanks is a space that I'm in right now. Just really understanding all of the things I've gone through, all of the experiences that I've had. Being a person that prays, that meditates often, that puts out positive energy, not just for myself, but that life force for the people around me. And that seclusion, right? Taking that time and space and saying, I'm going to take this. The simulation says that I don't get to slow down. The simulation says that I have to keep going. The simulation says I have to keep, feeding this machine or these machines, right? We're checking our Facebook, we're checking our Instagram, we're checking our Twitter, we're checking our email, we're checking our text message, we're checking our... Where is the time? Because they've stolen it, right? But when we choose to take that back, we are taking pieces of our life force back, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that we are whole, right? To give out what's next, to be conductors. Because to be a conductor, you kind of have to you got to be holy too. You can be one piece of whatever, but that energy you have to be able to, that energy cannot be stifled. It has to be able to flow through, right? This has been beautiful.
This has been.
I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Amen. Ashe. Hallelujah. Those are the words for the new song, Give Thanks. With the flesh, the clay. I just want to say thank you. I want to close out Shouts out to everyone in the chat. I see y'all off in there. Y'all been sticking with us, staying strong. I love y'all so much. Uh, like I said, please go show support to Katie. Give her a follow. Go and comment on her post. You know, make it look like spam.
Come out to a show sometime. Come say
And
hi.
yeah,
Come out to open mic night or a Pensacola songwriter round or a Monarch and Milkweeds is playing a Eco Kids event later this month at the First City Arts Center. That's going to be a free event that has like upcycling workshops and outdoor workshops and music and food vendors and there's all sorts of good stuff that happens around that we can bump into each other.
absolutely.
And have moments
Yep.
of
And
connection.
I know that November 6th, From the Ground Up, is going to be
Yes.
amazing.
Yes.
I'll be at When Queens Link Up from 4 to 8 p.m. That night. I'll probably slide out a little bit early so that I can get to this event at From the Ground Up because it's going to be featuring some of my favorites in the city. I want to scream, fangirl. I'll be like,
I know. I feel like such a fangirl.
oh
for
my
all these
gosh,
people that
you,
come
you, I get to watch you guys from the audience.
in. Yeah.
You're not going to be more fangirl than I am. It's a competition tonight, baby. I'm probably going to bring some church fans with me so I can be like,
That's how I feel. I feel like it's gonna be like $5 to get serenaded in therapy and church. And
oh, yeah, it's
all the
about to be
things.
all of that. It's about to be all of that.
Open-hearted.
Yeah,
Or else
yeah, because you're going to
come
cry. You're going to, at some point, you're going to cry. Because these are some of my
You're gonna
favorite.
laugh. You're gonna cry.
Yeah, all of that. Emotions.
The hummus lady will be there with delicious hummus toast that I made.
Wait a minute. Like, you're just taking it too far, Katie. I don't know how to feel right now. What I would like to say to y'all, last thing I'm going to say, we're going to close back out. Katie just did, she did what we were playing in the beginning. I'm going to show it again. Oops. I'm going to show it again.
Yeah, the local WWF, which is our local station for National Public Radio for NPR, has invited me into the studio a couple times this summer, and it's been so exciting to go in there for their acoustic interlude, both as a solo artist and then with my band Monarch and the Milkweeds. And then they invited me back again for National Public Radio Music Day, which was part of a national airing and publication that was spotlighting local musicians of the different stations all around the United States. And so it was kind of perfect because I just went on this trip and had all this new stuff coming through me, and I got to go record it in the Studio A NPR studio. And if you will back it up before you start playing it, because this is a song that I've only played out once before. It's the first song I've written on the piano ever, and yeah, it's something that's really tender. It was really special to share it in that environment because it is one of those songs that's so vulnerable to me that I don't give what's holy to many that level of rawness to many spheres. So yeah, it was really special going and recording with them, and it's on npr.org.
That's what I was about to say.
Cool. I'm so excited about
So
that.
we played the video at the beginning. If you hear the audio at the beginning of the show, you'll hear the music that's playing on the intro is from this actual video. And I want you guys actually to go because, I can stream this, but I need artists, whenever content is placed on a website, it's very important that people go and click on it. And I can't say this enough as someone who builds websites for clients and things of that nature. That's how websites are pushed up in the algorithm. So if nobody's clicking on it or everybody's sharing it from the same spot, then it kind of does not give the same benefit. So that's a benefit to you as an artist, but also as NPR for being a space and holding space for that. So I'm going to play a little bit of this on the way out of the show to close things out. And you got some love there, Delta 5. Katie, you are amazing. Much gratitude for all you do, And I am going to play this. And remember, guys, go to NPR. Just Google Katie Dineen and then NPR, and it'll be the top video. You see her right here. It looks like this.
Yeah, it'll pull up a video that I look much younger at first. They must have went to YouTube and searched Katie Dineen and this video that John Jinx and I did in his living room sessions must be where they got that picture.
Probably so. It's cute.
But
it's
then
cute.
they have if you scroll down, they have this.
Yes.
It's like little baby Katie pre-bang.
Baby Katie. But we're gonna close out. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. Again, thank you for tuning in with us to Live from Mother's Kitchen. You're welcome. It's my pleasure. Thank you for being with me and sharing space with me. It's been beautiful.
Thank you for providing
Just to
this
keep
for myself and support
my mind off of you.
Absolutely.
and to the same.
Cause if I let myself
We love y'all. We hope you have a wonderful night. Oh, I have to tell you guys, this is the last episode of Live from Mother's Kitchen for this year as a Mother's Mondays. We are completing this season with episode number 11 with Katie Dineen. And for the rest of the year, we will have pre-recorded sessions that will be airing and a special Christmas show I want to do. So Winter Solstice on the 22nd. Hopefully I can get Katie to come in with us for that. And maybe Monarch and Milkweeds. We'll see what they say. But I love y'all. Have a wonderful night.
I started to look around, wondering what would I do if I was not here, if I was not with you. So I've gotta go, I've gotta grow, I've gotta learn what I don't yet know. And if you love me, please just see me, please believe me when I say I love you too. But I'm not